In the mid-20th century, the world lived under constant tension. This was the era of the Cold War, a period of deep confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union. Two superpowers competed for military dominance, technological superiority, and global influence. Every miscalculation carried the risk of a wider conflict. In this dangerous rivalry, intelligence gathering became one of the most powerful weapons. American leaders urgently needed reliable information about Soviet military capabilities. Satellites did not yet exist. The only way to look beyond the Iron Curtain was through covert aerial reconnaissance. To accomplish this mission, engineers developed the Lockheed U-2, a revolutionary high-altitude aircraft capable of flying more than 20 kilometers above the Earth. At that altitude, pilots saw a darkened sky and the curve of the planet beneath them. One of the men chosen to fly these missions was Francis Gary Powers. Born in 1929 in Kentucky to a family of aviators, he developed a fascination with flight at an early age. After serving in the United States Air Force, he was recruited into a highly classified CIA program. The assignment demanded discipline, precision, and absolute secrecy. Every pilot understood a simple truth: if a mission failed, they would stand alone. Training was intense. Powers learned to endure extreme physical stress and long hours of isolation in the cockpit. The U-2 carried advanced cameras capable of capturing detailed images of missile bases and military installations from extraordinary heights. Each flight was a calculated gamble. By the spring of 1960, tensions between the superpowers had escalated. A major international summit was being prepared, yet reconnaissance operations continued. On May 1, 1960, Powers received orders to conduct one of the most ambitious flights of the program. His route would carry him across nearly the entire Soviet Union. He departed at dawn from a secret base in Pakistan. Inside the narrow cockpit, the air was cold and thin. The steady hum of the engine and his controlled breathing were the only sounds. Far below, unfamiliar landscapes drifted silently past. Soviet radar detected the aircraft soon after it crossed the border. Alarm signals spread rapidly through the air defense network. Fighter jets attempted interception, but could not reach the U-2's altitude. Soviet commanders then authorized the launch of surface-to-air missiles. Near the city of Sverdlovsk, the confrontation reached its climax. Several missiles streaked upward. One detonated close to the aircraft. The explosion severely damaged the U-2 and sent violent shock waves through the cockpit. Powers struggled to regain control, but the aircraft was breaking apart. Realizing the plane was lost, he ejected and deployed his parachute. During the descent, he understood the consequences. The mission had failed. He was captured almost immediately after landing. Soviet authorities recovered the pilot, the wreckage, and sensitive reconnaissance equipment. Undeniable proof of espionage. In Washington, officials initially claimed that a weather research aircraft had gone missing. But on May 7, 1960, Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev announced to the world that the pilot was alive and under investigation. The American cover story collapsed, and a major diplomatic crisis erupted. In August 1960, an open trial began in Moscow. Journalists from around the world followed every development. Powers was formally charged with espionage against the Soviet Union. The courtroom atmosphere was tense and highly public. Prosecutors presented detailed evidence of the mission, displaying components of the aircraft and its surveillance equipment. The court sentenced Powers to 10 years of imprisonment, 3 years in prison, followed by 7 years of hard labor. The incident severely damaged relations between the superpowers. A planned international summit in Paris collapsed. Mutual distrust deepened, and the arms race accelerated. Once again, the world sensed how fragile the global balance had become. Powers spent nearly 2 years in captivity, while diplomats negotiated behind the scenes. On February 10, 1962, a dramatic prisoner exchange took place in Berlin. He was traded for Soviet intelligence officer Rudolf Abel. The exchange occurred on the Glienicke Bridge, a location that would later become known as the Bridge of Spies. The operation unfolded in tense silence. Representatives from both sides watched carefully as the exchange proceeded. When powers crossed to the western side of the bridge, one of the most famous episodes of the Cold War came to an end. After returning to the United States, Powers found himself under intense public scrutiny. His actions were widely debated. Over time, historians came to recognize the broader significance of his mission within the intelligence struggle of the era. The U-2 incident became a turning point. It exposed the limits of covert aerial operations and accelerated the development of satellite reconnaissance. The Cold War was entering a new technological phase. The story of Francis Gary Powers is the story of a man caught at the center of a global confrontation. His flight became a symbol of an age when the pursuit of information could reshape international relations. It remains a powerful reminder of how precarious and dangerous the Cold War truly was. This story reminds us how fragile the balance between peace and conflict can be. The flight of Francis Gary Powers was not just an episode of espionage, but a reflection of an entire era in which fear, technology, and political ambition were tightly intertwined. During the Cold War, the fate of individuals often became part of global history. A single decision, a single order, a single flight could reshape diplomatic relations and influence world politics. By studying events like these, we gain a deeper understanding of how the modern world was formed. Military history is not only a record of conflicts, but also a story of human courage, miscalculation, strategic thinking, and difficult moral choices. Behind every major event stand real people whose actions helped shape the course of history. On this channel, we will continue to publish in-depth and compelling stories about military operations, intelligence work, covert missions, and decisive moments in world history. We will explore real events, analyze their causes and consequences, and focus on the individuals who stood at the center of historic turning points. If you are interested in documentary storytelling about war, strategy, and global politics, stay with us. Many more stories are ahead.